Welcome back. Another day of key testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. The witnesses taking the stand today included Cassie Ventura's mother, Regina, who testified about Cassie's bruises allegedly caused by Combs. Also before the jury today, a male escort known as the Punisher. He testified about his sexual encounters with both Cassie Ventura and Sean Combs. And last on the stand today, the special agent who was in charge of the 2024 raid on Combs' Miami Beach home. The jury seeing assault-style rifles found on a shelf inside Combs' bedroom. The serial numbers on those guns defaced. Let's dissect what happened in the courtroom today with our legal panel. Bernarda Villalona back with us. Also joining today, defense attorney and former assistant Manhattan District Attorney Jeremy Saland. Jeremy, you're going to take on the role of the defense. Bernarda, you're going to take on the role from the perspective of the prosecution. Let's start with you, Bernarda. You were in the courtroom. We talked about this earlier, Cassie's mother on the stand, and she talked about taking photos of bruises that she saw that were allegedly from Sean Combs to memorialize it. How effective was her testimony?
Well, her testimony was definitely compelling because it's coming from a mother's perspective. But also, those pictures that she took, that incident right there was the first time that Cassie had ever told her or insinuated that she was being assaulted by Sean Combs. So just imagine she is responding to her daughter and trying to do something to help her out of it. The jury was deadlocked on her testimony. They wanted to hear everything she had to say. And she came off so compelling that the defense got up and said, Ms. Ventura, I have no questions for you. There was no cross-examination. But she also mentioned a second incident that's important, that there was an incident where she was in front of the hotel. This was in California. Sean Combs had taken Cassie's phone and did not want to return it. So she called the cops to try to get it back. Eventually, she got the phone back, but Sean Combs then took the car. So again, going to that coercion part, that manipulating part of Cassie.
Who's your biggest advocate in life? Your mother's your biggest advocate, 100%. Who would lie for you? Who would steal for you? Who would cheat for you? Who will love you to the end of days? Your mother would.
Except her testimony is corroborated.
It's corroborated.
But why didn't the defense question her? What's the strategy there?
There's really no win. There's a difficulty going after a pregnant Cassie, even though we're not talking about 30-something-year-old Cassie. We're talking about 20, 21-year-old Cassie. The same reason you don't go after mom. There's no win for you in that game. You're going to make her cry and make her that much more compelling and hurt her because objectively she's been hurt. Whether that means Sean Combs is an animal and a jerk and a bad man doing bad things, that's one thing. They acknowledge that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that he's committed these crimes and this whole racketeering pyramid that comes up to him. So it's really kid glove and delicate when you're dealing with a mother on the stand about her own daughter, who was a victim in some capacity, even if not the way the prosecution alleges.
Okay, so the other thing we have to talk about the Punisher, the male escort. A lot of people are talking about it. He testified to his experience saying that he saw Sean Combs never intoxicated, that Combs was giving directions. How does that all play in all of this?
So in terms of the prosecution, you question why call the Punisher, another escort, to come in and testify. Number one, there's strength in numbers when we're talking about the escorts and then talking about the free calls. But number two, also showing that, look, because remember doing opening statements, the defense wanted to portray that Sean Combs, a person that was acting he was intoxicated, he was on drugs, pretty much he wasn't understanding what he was doing. And here you have a male escort telling you, not a male escort, a performer, telling you that, look, I didn't see him intoxicated. I didn't see him under the influence of drugs. He was capable of the decisions that he was making. He was directing them as to what to do. And then again, you have another payoff for sexual acts.
Now I got to pull Bernarda back to the side of justice here for a second. She lost her way for a moment. My response to that would be, you had a man who came in who at one point may have said that he had feelings from her to the prosecution. And then when he was cross-examined on it, they may have been taken out of context. Well, which is it? That's pretty convenient. You admit what you can't deny and deny what you can't admit, meaning he got caught with that and now he has to have a story for it. But yes, Combs may have been sober and competent and okay to do whatever he was doing as a puppeteer, but at the same time, other than wincing and sighing a little bit in terms of Cassie's description, it wasn't as if he was being aggressive in the terms of really being violent or assertive. He likes that kink. That's his thing. I may not want it. None of us may want it. But again, does that build that criminal pyramid in terms of a conspiracy to commit racketeering? It's still a leap. There's a lot more to come.
Another interesting detail out of today was from the assistant that when he was supplying the hotel room for all the things that Combs wanted in there, he would pay for it, and then Bad Boy Records was who reimbursed him.
Yes. So in terms of the special stocking of what Sean Combs wanted in his room, so when we're talking about the baby oil, the Astroglide, those are items that supposedly Sean Combs did not want to be billed to Bad Boy. He wanted it to come out of his own personal account. But this is the thing. As a prosecutor, you argue that as consciousness of guilt. Like, why wouldn't you want it to come out if this is just normal out of your own business? You're taking it out of your own personal account because you know what you're doing is wrong and criminal.
I would argue that you would say the same thing if you actually wrote it off, because then you'd say there's some sort of tax fraud. So why are you writing all this stuff off that you should never be writing off? It's my personal shtick. That's what I like. It doesn't belong in my company, period.
Jeremy, Bernarda, thank you both for being here with us. And coming